welcome to this edition of ONME Sunday Mornings. My name is Julia Najib, along with
Lennice Najib.
We got to tell people about how we're expanding. Oh wait, first we got to tell them why we're not outside at a location, because usually people expect us to be somewhere near a city where you are looking for us. However, we've got bad air. We've got some fires that are going on, and there's been some warnings of the bad air. In fact, even a lot of school districts had to cancel these sports practices because of the air quality issues that we're having since the fires that have been happening. So we decided to film right here in our AMPTV studios, where we usually film for our AMPTV Now News.
Well, one thing about it being here, we're comfortable, we're sitting down, and we are out of that bad quality air, so we can bring to you what we need to bring to the audience so they can be
News
aware.
and information, that's when we bring the audience.
But they have to be aware of what's going on. So that's one thing about this show. It is very informative, and you have the information to empower you to be whatever you want to be.
So before we get to that, let's talk about the My ONME. ONME is a collaboration of a lot of the black medias throughout the San Joaquin Valley that we've been able to put into one location so that you can find what's happening in Modesto, what's happening in Merced, what's happening in Fresno, Bakersfield, all those different locations where, in case you're traveling up and down the valley. And we're going to be doing some more of that.
So all of us is going to be coming together, collaborating.
We're already doing that.
And forming a union
and
one hub where you can get all your information, what happened in the African American community in one spot.
And you can find the beginnings of that hub at myonme.com. That's myonme.com if you look at your screen there. And there's even a download link where you can download the free app. The app has our ONME programming, which is localized for the Central Valley or the San Joaquin Valley, because technically San Joaquin Valley goes from Modesto to just before Bakersfield. And then the Central Valley would include Stockton and all those areas, and eventually we'll be expanding to that as well. But the myonme.com will at least let you know the different media properties or different media outlets that exist, so that you know what's going on through the Valley Voice, whether it be through the blackbakersfield.com, the different entities that do exist that are business hubs and media hubs for the Central Valley.
So it won't be no more excuse of, well, I didn't know about this, or I found out about this
We hope
yesterday.
there won't be any excuses. That's why I want you to download the free app. So if you go to the myonme.com, you can download that free app, whether it's for Android, the iOS devices. And the app will have our live channel on there. It has a TV guide that we'll be putting on there. And it also has our AMPTV live channel, which features more of the urban news, urban live information, news and entertainment, and also our AMPTV Now news segment. The ONME Live Network is where we're going throughout the valley, getting some of those live excerpts. We're going to have experts on the show that'll be doing their DIYs that are from the valley, talking to us about finances, talking about ways to save, talking about whatever it is, from cooking to all the different shows. Coach's Corner, Valley Black Talk Radio will be something that's on daily at 5 o'clock, so you can even plug that in your car. You have ONME Sunday mornings and some news briefs throughout that programming. So we have our own online network for all the Central Valley to be able to plug in, tune in, and listen to.
Oh, that's exciting. You have so much materials, content, and it'll be entertaining.
Yes, and we want to remind people that we still are on Biz TV. So nationwide, we still exist, and we come on at 1 o'clock daily on Biz TV. So check your local listing, your local TV guide, to find out where you can be able to watch us live. The recorded live program on Biz TV. And you can also watch it in Bakersfield, San Diego, throughout California. It's basically nationwide for that. And so we got to talk about your domino tournament that's coming up, because we're going to be featuring the Cafe Aroma Presents Bones champion here on this show.
One thing is October 2nd. If you can play some bones and you know how to count 5, 10, 15, I'm just joking. Come to Cafe Aroma and purchase a buy-in. Register for the domino tournament. That's October 2nd. That's that Friday and Saturday.
And we're going to be featuring the championship game live. That'll be something to watch on the ONME Live channel. That's why you got to download the app. Or you can just get it from the myonme.com. God, I'm trying to get used to that. And so that's one way that to get people involved is dominoes.
Well, our goal is to get 64 players to come in, and it's going to be cash, there's going to be door prizes, and all that kind of stuff. And it's going to be food and entertainment, live entertainment. So it would be something to come out for and support our Black business at Cafe Aroma.
Great, and now we've got to talk about the Valley Air. As you know, we're inside because of our Valley Air, and so even if you go to our ONME player when you're watching any of the ONME programming, you'll see at the bottom, Valley Air alerts. Those alerts are important so that you do know what is happening, and it's notifying the valley of the current status of whatever we're experiencing, the conditions of the air. And so if it's exceeding that health-based ozone, then that's when you'll see the alerts that are going to pop up. And so we want to talk about that because the air does have a negative effect on our health. Some people have asthma. Some people have those health conditions that they should be concerned about if you're going out there in the air. It really does affect us. Transportation is one of those things that makes it worse on those bad air days. And the thing is about the bad air days, it can last from several hours to several days.
One thing about the bad air days, we live in like a bowl.
Yeah.
And I know our son
Traps
has
everything.
asthma,
Yeah.
and I know the ones that have asthma, it can be tough for them.
It can be fatal.
For
It can actually be fatal.
their lungs and everything. So the air quality is crucial, important that we abide by certain rules. I know one of the advantages walking to deal with the emission of gas that comes out of the car. So there's strategies and ways that we have to use and abide by in order to go through to conserve on the air quality.
This is a valley-wide issue, not just a city of Fresno, city of Tulare, or Madera, or Visalia issue. It's a valley-wide issue, so we want to make sure we're looking at some of those alerts and finding ways to minimize the smog-forming emissions. So you have carpooling and van pooling, using alternative transportation like bicycling, walking. You like to walk a lot, in fact. So eliminating the vehicle idling, not just having it sit there, turn the car off if you're sitting somewhere waiting, maybe you're waiting at the store. Reducing your vehicle trips, trying to get all those errands in one time, one shot, and just get it all done at one time. Businesses can also help to reduce the workplace-centered emissions. You can have receiving free tools. There's free tools and resources, first of all, that you can get for reducing these emissions. But ordering lunch to eliminate your employees having to drive off.
When you order lunch, you can have a whole, like even at our coffee cafe, you have services that would bring 10 plates.
To you or to the workplace.
20 plates and have it there. So.
And that's really important. Even having schedule flexibility is important to think about. And that reduces that commute time, that traffic time. That's so horrible sometimes first thing in the morning. And also making telecommuting available if your company can allow for that, telecommuting. And so some of the topics that we want to be able to also discuss in today's program include Oliver Baines, who's going to be conducting several workshops. And these workshops are talking about the developments that are coming to West Fresno. And we want to be able to let people know about that. We also have some California news where there's a book club that was on a train in Napa Valley. This has happened in August. And they were kicked off the train for being too loud.
Boisterous.
So that's got to be a question that we have for our audience. Maybe one of the first things in our My On Me blog. How do you feel about that? We also have the 50th anniversary of the Watts riots, and there is a particular artist, an exhibit that's at the California African American Museum in Los Angeles where they are commemorating this, and where it's actual salvaged items from the riots in 1965, August 11, 1965. And this is all put into an exhibit. So we'll talk briefly about that. We also have the CDFI Part 2 that was on Valley Black Talk Radio, talking about how to get some funding, how businesses can get funding. That is so important for businesses to know how can they get funding besides just going to a bank. So there is a special discussion that they came into Valley Black Talk Radio Studio, and we'll be able to see that for another 6 weeks about how to get that funding and knowing what loan readiness is, all of those things and more. And so those are the things to anticipate on me Sunday morning. So after the break, we're going to get right into that plan that Honorable Oliver Baines of District 3 and also Council President is discussing for the plan for the West Fresno future, along with some other local news. You're watching On Me Sunday Mornings. We'll be right back.
We, the people of the San Joaquin Valley, pledge to do our part to protect our air
and the health of our community.
We pledge to join a carpool.
Link smaller errands into one longer trip.
Ride your bike. It's healthy for our valley's air and for you.
Let's make one change for cleaner air.
Even small changes can help improve our air quality. When you take the pledge to protect our air, you're committing to a better future for our community. A message from the Valley Air District.
Do you have a structured settlement from a settled lawsuit? Are you currently getting regular payments from an insurance company for that settlement? To turn those payments into a lump sum payment now, call CBC Settlement Funding today. You can access all or just a portion of your settlement.
To learn more about getting your money now, call us at 1-800-307-2065 for a free, no-obligation offer. Again, that's 1-800-307-2065.
Welcome back to ONME Sunday Mornings. My name is Julia Najib, along with
Lennice Najib.
And we were just talking about some of those local news items that we want to make sure you are aware of. If you're in the West Fresno District or the District 3, Honorable Oliver Baines, President of the City Council of Fresno as well, is conducting several workshops. These are workshops that are important for you to be at because it's talking about the Southwest Fresno specific plan, and that is where you can be involved. And this is a plan that involves the environmental impact report, and all the workshops will be from 6 to 8:30 p.m. if you look there at your screen, and they'll be located at Ruther B. Gaston Middle School. And so it's in the multi-purpose room, 1100 East Church Avenue. And this is just talking about the changes that are happening in Southwest Fresno and some of that growth, and so you're encouraged to attend. It is free. And it's going to cover all the information that's going on specifically with the Southwest Fresno specific plan. So that first meeting is coming up this Tuesday, September 15th. It is a community workshop. And this is where there's going to be the introduction, where you can learn about the project, the vision, where they're going and the goals, and help analyze the study area and start to process where they're going to start developing the concepts for the specific plan. Then you have Tuesday, October 13th, where they're going to develop concepts to refine the plan and concepts to address the community concerns and issues. Then there'll also be some more meetings in January to help finalize and refine that. If you want more information there, you can take a look at the screen there and go to fresno.gov in that long government department directory, DARM Advanced Planning, or you can also call 559-621-8062 and also contact Sophia at the email address that is there on your screen. Also, the Central Valley Veterans Stand Down 2015. This is an effort to assist brave veterans who defended this country. And so the Central Valley Veterans Partners are hosting a stand down event. That'll be from September 16th through the 17th from 8 a.m. to, so when they say 1700 hours, that's 5 p.m., right? Because 12 minus 17, okay. And this will be at the VFH Post 8900, 3585 North Blythe Avenue. And it's overnight residents may register on Tuesday, September 15th from 12 to 5 p.m. And attendees will get that free assistance that they need, applying for California ID, Social Security, and so forth. We want to get right also to the NAACP President, Patrick Jackson out of Bakersfield. And he has been charged for spousal abuse as far as what we know. Now, what we want to make sure people are informed of, there's always the different sides of the story.
Yeah, you always have two sides of the story. We have the media side, and we have what is the Patrick side, and we also have the abuse, spousal abuse of his spousal side.
So it's important to look, if it is spousal abuse, it's important that we follow up on that. And as a community, we don't turn a blind eye. I know that the victim is saying that she tried to tell members of the church, they turned a blind eye and no one would listen to her. So if that being the case, that's something we as a community need to embrace and begin to find different ways to make sure we are addressing those issues. However, Patrick is saying that he feels that the cops have set him up, so we're going to be looking more into the story, finding more information to see if that's the case. According to Patrick and the other young lady that was there in the office, that it wasn't a case of that he was hiding under the desk as what has been reported in the different news filings, saying that the wife, even though they were separated, was upset when she appeared at the NAACP office in Bakersfield and found the two hiding under the desk. They're saying that's not the case. They're removing items from the desk, so we will find out the truth in that. But I'm more concerned about the violence and also if this is a case of the police being involved.
We need to know what's going on, and we're going to reach out to Patrick to find out from his side what his version is, right from the horse's mouth. And it's important to hear from the horse's mouth of what's going on.
Not a horse, but yeah, I get what you're saying.
You know what I'm saying.
The expression.
So the
right?
expression.
Right.
So we want to know what's going on out there, and be more informed of what's going on.
Okay, so after the break, we're also going to talk about some California news. You're watching ONME Sunday Mornings. We'll be right back after this break. Watch AMP TV Now News Daily with Julia and Lennice Najib as they review the top DIY digital downloads of information that can enhance your life, review the books related to personal development, or give the latest online coupon offers and special deals. Get all the latest urban news from popular mainstream and African American news sources. Be inspired by individuals making a difference in their communities and in the world. Watch us on Biz TV daily. Want to be a featured DIY expert on AMP TV Now News? Have 5 years experience in the field of knowledge you want to share with millions of viewers? Great. Find out how you can earn money by helping others make their lives better. DIY, do it yourself, can mean viewers are saving money, enhancing their lives, or looking at a more efficient way of doing a task. If you've got the information to share, we've got the hookup for the digital download. Find out more by going to news.amptvnow.com. That's news.amptvnow.com.
We, the people of the San Joaquin Valley,
Pledge to do our part to protect our air.
and the health of our community.
We pledge to join a carpool.
Link smaller errands into one longer trip.
Ride your bike. It's healthy for our valley's air and for you.
Let's make one change for cleaner air.
Even small changes can help improve our air quality. When you take the pledge to protect our air, you're committing to a better future for our community. A message from the Valley Air District.
And welcome back to ONME Sunday Mornings. My name is Julia and Lennice along with
Lennice Najib.
So we have one of our first California stories, and this happened at the beginning of August. You had a women's book club, and they happened to be African American, except for I think one other individual. And they were on a train to Napa Valley, like the wine country, on this wine trip. People often are aware of, people that live here are aware of these trails. And so the LA Times is reporting that, as you can see the headline there, a group of black women kicked off Napa wine train after laughing too loud.
They was being very boisterous. They was loud. They was having fun. They was drinking. And
there's nothing wrong with that part.
Yeah, but
it's a wine tour.
But at the same time, if you was a passenger and you want to relax or you might be sleepy, you hearing all this
noise. It's a wine tour. You shouldn't be sleeping on a wine tour.
But noise. And then to make it seem like it's a racial problem because they was African Americans, because when the other passengers complained about it, something has to be done if they are uncomfortable because they have their own rights too. So I think they felt offended, from what I read, that they was escorted past all the passengers, or humiliated in their own words, and brought down to the police, which was.
And they do feel like there was a bias because they said the police were waiting for them as they walked off the train. It might be a bias there, and you know this is, I don't know. This is one of those we've got to wait and see. I'm not sure if it's a racial issue, only because they were warned several times where they were asked by the staff to calm it down a little bit. But that is questionable. Would they have called the cops if they were white or if they were any other ethnicity? That's a great question. And did it have to go that far? I think that's the problem that I have.
Well, from what I read, they wasn't cooperating.
But these are classy women. This isn't just anyone that you're talking about. These were, again, a part of a book club. They were discussing their books, and it's a wine tour. So wouldn't they know that on a wine tour, people are going to get a little bit loud because they're drinking wine?
Well, if they have another section for them, that's
no such thing. It's a wine tour.
I understand
Napa
it's a wine tour in Napa Valley, but if they have a certain section where they won't disturb everybody else on that train.
I don't think you should be on this train to sleep if you're on a wine tour. That's my personal opinion about that. So I'm wanting to see how this plays out. Yes, okay, they were warned, and perhaps they should have quieted down. But to have the cops that are waiting, escorting you to humiliate these women, I'm not sure I agree with that. So it looks like we're on either side of this issue.
Well, yeah,
That's
I always
okay.
try to give the benefit of the doubt.
Then we have the Watts riot anniversary, and LA Times reports on this. And this particular case, it's interesting to see, August 11, 1965, when this was happening in Watts, and there's several stories about how this Watts riot started, as far as, with the police officer that initiated with the arrest of a black 21-year-old. They're saying that that's what initiated, but that's never been that so clear. But Noah Purifoy had, and along with other artists, collected artifacts after the Watts riots.
Well, that was.
They didn't know what it was going to be used for.
Well, they didn't know what it was used for, but it started. But it was a brewing before that one incident. I think that was the incident that just broke the camel's back, so to speak. So it was memorable back then in 1965. So, and
Noah Purifoy actually was, passed away. Was born in 1917, died in 2004. And so this was the uprising that happened in that summer of Los Angeles. When they were collecting those charred fragments of wood, plaster, paint, and signage to assemble this wall, they did not know the power that it was going to bring. So this is an exhibit that's available at the California African American Museum, and that's in Los Angeles, and people can really check that out. These are real artifacts, and if you look at that picture there, it's real artifacts. I don't know what else to say. The picture is the actual artifact, so it's more than just a picture. It's the actual rubbish and everything they got from the scene. And this helps to tell about history. Once upon a time here in America, it's everyone's history. It's a part of our history. So it will be something for people to still travel down and take a look at that, especially commemorating that 50th anniversary. So we want to make sure we at least talked about that and acknowledge those artists that really assisted with that. And so after the break, we have more news. There's always some more information we got to talk about, right?
So much.
You're watching ONME Sunday Mornings. We'll be right back after the short break.
We, the people of the San Joaquin Valley,
Pledge to do our part to protect our air.
and the health of our community.
We pledge to join a carpool.
Link smaller errands into one longer trip.
Ride your bike. It's healthy for our valley's air and for you.
Let's make one change for cleaner air.
Even small changes can help improve our air quality. When you take the pledge to protect our air, you're committing to a better future for our community. A message from the Valley Air District.
Welcome back to ONME Sunday Mornings. My name is Julia Dudley Najib, along with
Lennice Najib.
We wanted to, before we start the video at Valley Black Talk Radio, and this has been a 8-week series that Fresno CDFI has been explaining to us about funding and helping especially minority-owned businesses to understand about funding. So they've been reaching out and letting people know, breaking down. I think the first program was explaining to us what is CDFI, and now they're going to get into from loan readiness and what has to be done and what they're looking for.
Everybody out there is looking for funding, and funding is
everybody.
Is a key ingredient
Some people are looking for
to
funding.
satisfy a business. So.
Right. So businesses, you mean, are looking for that funding. And that's where Fresno CDFI does cater to. So let's take a look at that excerpt and we'll have some brief commentary after this.
You may mention as far as the risk, we do deal with a lot riskier clients than the banks do. We are a lot more lenient, especially towards credit, cash flow, and even collateral. And going to a bank, if you don't have cash flow, credit, or collateral, if it doesn't meet their standard, then you can pretty much,
thanks but no thanks.
Exactly. So we do take on a lot more risk than the banks do. We give out money to businesses that the banks wouldn't even think about lending to. So we probably consider ourselves the creative lender for the underserved and underbanked community, because we do reach out to the businesses that the banks won't touch. So as far as our default rate is actually not too bad. It's not course, where the banks are. But as far as the CDFI industry, I mean, our default rate is pretty low for the industry.
In terms of folks who qualify for what's the time frame? I mean, is it a 6-month process, 30 days, 90 days? What if they meet the criteria you're looking for to loan them the money? What's the time frame for this turnaround?
Well, what's the criteria?
You want to start with criteria?
Maybe start with criteria and then work our way through.
Okay.
Well, I was saying that because they already told us they don't. Their traditional loans they leave those to the banks. They do some of the unusual stuff. So maybe that's right. What is the unusual stuff?
Yeah. Because I know somebody's listening going, okay, I know my credit ain't good, but I have a really good idea. So let's start with what are your basic requirements in terms of qualifying for a loan?
Well, we do, because we do take out loans from other institutions to be able to loan out. I mean, so we do have to make sure that the person that's getting the loan has the ability to pay back the loan. So, I mean, we do look for, some type of cash flow to be able to, service the debt. Collateral, we're very flexible in collateral. A lot of businesses don't, especially startup businesses, they don't have, any real estate to put up, any, vehicles, equipment. So, I mean, we do have other guarantee programs to protect ourselves, and it does allow a lot of our businesses to be able to gain access to money.
So we got a chance to see with Jeremy Hoffer and also Jason Gridiron and Mel Sanders and Joel Riversmith explaining to us about funding and what are the steps to take. And then pretty soon we'll be able to hear from Elite Wireless, which she was one of the business owners that CDFI was able to help, and she talked about how she was able to get that loan within 45 days. So we'll also be able to get to hear her story shortly over the next several weeks. So I'm glad to hear that there's another way instead of just the banks.
Well, it has to be an alternative way for a lot of the minorities. A lot of them don't have the credit. They are compromised in a lot of different areas, and sometimes they need that helping hand and that guidance to be able to get the funding that they need to have their business be successful.
And President CFI also holds workshops, so we'll be telling you more about those workshops. They just had one on accounting with Katina Davis, and so there'll be more to come on that. In fact, there'll be more on our online network, our new 24/7 ONME network. That's live, online, all the time. How cool is that? Go to the website, myonme.com, to find out more information about that. And you'll also be able to listen to or watch Valley Black Talk Radio daily. So it'll be starting in a few weeks. We'll just let you know. Stay posted. Download that app so you know when. And we thank you for watching this edition of On Me Sunday Mornings. My name is Julia and Lennice, along with
Lennice Najib.
Have a great week.